Logos. There's probably some feelings that come to your head. I'm sure you can think of quite a few that you're fond of, but I think in recent memory we can all agree that logos just recently have not been up to par as what they used to be. It's been this modern, oversimplified, tech-looking, stupid logo. I'm sure you can think of a million. I'm thinking of them too, and they've been taking over recently, but I feel like the NFL has actually held pretty strong and been able to keep their logos looking pretty good. Honestly, I think this is one of the best areas of where you could find a category of logos. So I think it's fit to rank them. We all love the NFL, well, some of us, and I think that lots of these logos are like very iconic. So I made some rules here for ranking these. I have given each team a set of 4 logos to be ranked, starting with their current logo, and then moving on to an alternate logo that maybe they still currently use, or maybe they used in the past as an alternate, but not really their main one. Their first logo ever, as you can see here. So lots of these are dating back to, I mean, some of them are dating back to like the 20s, and they just look crazy. It's insane that they ever existed. And then I just did another throwback logo for each team just to round it off with 4, because I thought that just those 3 was maybe not enough to encapsulate every single team, so, or everything that they've had throughout their history. So some teams also never had like a set amount of throwbacks, or some teams never really had an alternate, so I kind of just maybe did 2 of each in some category or whatever. I'll explain as we go through, but I think that's enough yapping. Here's the list. Get a look at all these logos, and let's get started. So I'm gonna start off, we're going in alphabetical order of team names, so we're gonna start off with the 49ers. Right off the bat, this is a pretty iconic logo. I think it maybe isn't fair, but I think there's something about winning with a logo that kind of cements it as important, or maybe makes it stand out a little bit more, because you're seeing it everywhere, you're talking about it more. It's not like ever buried in the behind. So lots of these more iconic ones are from some of the better teams, and I mean, look good, play good too, so you know, like, that's a part of it. But the 49ers I don't think is quite perfect. I think for me personally it's missing a little bit color wise. I think it's great, I think it's iconic, it's like you can see it, people are wearing it, and it doesn't look tacky, you know what I mean? It's a very good representation, but the colors to me are not exactly perfect, and I think I'm going to be a little bit more strict on what I throw into perfect. Like, it's got to really be one of my favorites of all time, but it's got this good balance of, so I'll talk a lot for this first one, but I think what's important to me is not being too simple, but also being too detailed can look quite tacky as well. Like, if there's just too much going on, I don't think it makes for a good looking logo, but obviously too simple as well is not great either. So it's like a fine line. I think I tend to like the more simple, iconic ones that you could maybe wear on a shirt or something, and it's just cool on its own, nothing to do with the team. And I think the Niners is a great example of that. They're great. I think this is a great logo. I don't think they do much wrong here. So yeah, that's my take on their current one. So then moving on to this alternate one. This one is a little weird. This font is like not necessarily amazing, but I like the idea of 49 being in it and this kind of emblem. And I think it's good. I just don't think it's as great as what they're working with. I think the font could use a little bit more work. I don't think it's as elegant as maybe the SF is. So I think that's probably a good alternate logo. Now these are where it gets a little crazy. I think I'm going to show some clear bias against these because they're just inherently a little bit insane, which is kind of cool. Like, this is a dude shooting a gun. that is dope. Like, it doesn't get much cooler than that, but it's a little like, I would never wear this, you know what I mean? Like, this is more like the center of attention of something rather than like a logo of something, if that makes sense. This is like a drawing, an art piece. And for that, I think, I don't want to say it's bad. Like, as a logo, it kind of is, but I think it's a really cool, like, it's just a dude shooting guns. And at the end of the day, that's kind of cool. Like, a lot of these, I'm kind of thinking, could I see this on a uniform somewhere? And if I saw it there, I'd be like, that's a average throwback. Like, it's cool as a concept, maybe bad as a logo, but I think that puts it at about average for me. And then this is my throwback example. So the Niners are one of these teams where they've kind of stuck with the same concept for a long time. And I think this one is about on par with the modern one. It's great. I like it. It's a little more simple, but honestly, I think it gets the job done just as well. And yeah, I think it's also great. Okay, so there's all my 49ers placements there. We're going to move on to the Bears. So I'm going to give you a little bit of context behind this video. I am indeed a Packers fan, but I will be trying to stay as unbiased as possible for these rankings. This is more about like style and fashion and the logo itself than how much I like the team. But that being said, I don't think this is a bad logo. It's pretty cool. I think when this one shows up, it's obviously not on their helmet. I picture it like being at the center of the stadium, and I think it's actually really good at that. But if this went on a helmet maybe, or a piece of clothing, it doesn't look as natural to me. And for that reason, I also just don't think it's like as iconic, even though they've been around forever. I think this is a good logo. It's got a fierce bear. It's a pretty cool looking bear, but I wouldn't call it great. It is close though. So another thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rank them like one by one individually, not just good. So for here, I think the modern Niner is a little bit better than this one, but I do think the Bear is better than the 49 here. And if I have to make some adjustments, I will. Like, this is borderline great, so I think I'm gonna we'll discuss it later, you know what I mean? Next up, this is the logo. So I technically put this as their alternate. I think they switched them around recently. I think this used to be the main logo, but they changed it to this one. I don't know. This one is a little more iconic just because you see it on the helmet. And when you think of like Walter Payton or something, you see this. You don't see the bear as much. You see him wearing the C. But as a Packers fan, I cannot get it out of my head that it just looks like a toilet seat. And I want to shit in it so bad. But it's good. It's simple. It's not like iconic. Like, this is not something you see. The font of it is not. It's like a little loose, if that makes sense. It's not as tight together as some other things, but I don't think this is bad. I do also think this is good. I think it's about the same. I think the bear is a little cooler, honestly. Doesn't fit the helmet as well, but I think it's better than this 49 emblem. Okay, so here's an interesting one. The first logo the Bears ever had, they were apparently the Decatur Staleys. I'm assuming that's a city in Illinois. I've never been personally. I'm sorry if I mispronounce your city wrong, but that's so on these logos here, for some teams, well, almost every team, I decided if their first logo or their throwback was for another team, like the Oilers is an obvious example here, or apparently the Staleys, the Bears were. I did put that there. But for a few instances, there were lots of teams in the past where their first team was apparently the Texans. I'll go over that later when we get to those teams. So I did not include it just for the sake of not making the list confusing, but this is not really that cool of a logo. This is something like maybe you'd see on a trucker hat. but I don't think it fits on a helmet. I mean, helmets didn't exist back then, obviously. I don't think it would fit on a jersey or anything, or even really a shirt that well. So, I don't know. I don't want to hate on these old ones that much, but I think this is kind of bad. I don't think it's terrible. It's not like offensive or anything. There's just a bit too much, and it's weirdly put together. I'm not the biggest fan. I think it's about bad. It's about a D. Okay, their last one. So this was a throwback I picked for them. It's a fucking bear holding a football. That is dope as fuck. I can't even lie. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, it's obviously too much. You know what I mean? Like, it's over. Like, it looks real, and I don't think that necessarily should be the case. I feel like a logo is maybe better as a graphic, like all these ones. And this just is like too realistic. It kind of actually looks like a fucking bear holding a football, which like is cool as fuck in concept, but as a logo, I think it's similar to this 49er one. I do think so. I think it's about average as a logo. I think it's slightly cooler. Just a fucking bear holding a football is kind of awesome, but I just don't think I can put it in good for the simple fact of it's a cool image, but not a logo, if you know what I'm trying to get it, like, say there. So next, that's all the Bears rankings there. Next up, we got the Bengals, and this is a weird one. I don't necessarily hate this, honestly. The B with the tiger stripes is somewhat cool. But it's not really like iconic, or wearing it's a little tacky, you know what I mean? It just, there's something about it. It's not quite as logo-y. It's like a font, and I mean, that's obviously what they're going for. It's a letter, but I think the stripe idea is actually great. Like on the helmets, it looks really cool, and you could have to do it. I mean, you're a tiger team, you know what I mean? But I think just simplifying it down to just a B makes it a little bit average for me. I do think it could maybe get bumped up to good. It's definitely better than these as a logo, but I think I'm gonna have to settle on average for that. The next one. Now this one's actually really good. This bangle here. I wouldn't necessarily call it great, but I think it looks pretty sweet. I mean, this is a good rep. I see. So I wouldn't want it on the helmet. I like that the Bengals helmets are just stripes, but for the sake of having a logo, like having something to put at the 50-yard line, or just to like market your team, selling this on hats and stuff, this is a cool logo. It's a pretty good Bengal. It's a little bit similar to the bear in my opinion. I think the bear is definitely better, but they're pretty close. So for that reason, I think they have to kind of sit near each other. You know what I mean? I do think the bear it's a little more classy than the lion. It looks more, I mean, it's older and it looks that way, and I think that just makes it look a little better. This one, okay. So I'm gonna be having a bigger image for you guys to see, but for me currently, I'm just kind of seeing this small little graphic, and from what I remember, this fucking thing just looks like Chester the Cheeto, or Chester the Cheetah, the Cheetos mascot, which is so fucking funny to me. Like, when I saw this, I was like, I gotta throw this in here, man. I don't know what the fuck the Bengals were cooking with this, but oh my god, it's so goofy. It's pretty funny, like, but it's just objectively at least bad. Like, if I were to be wearing a Staley's thing or this fucking thing, like, I think it has some value in being hilarious. Like, it's pretty funny, but I don't know. As a logo, it's honestly probably pretty terrible, but it's funny as fuck. I'm really happy that it exists. Okay, so this is the Bengals throwback alternate kind of thing. They might actually still use this, I don't remember. This kind of full bangle is pretty cool. I think this actually looks better than the head, just the head. I like the full bangle. I don't know what it is. like, if this were to be on the helmet, I think it would be more acceptable. It would look, well, I don't know about that. It doesn't work at the 50-yard line as well, but there's something about it that's just kind of cool. I still wouldn't quite put it in great. I do think it's just good, but I will put it ahead of these like head icons here. Okay, so we're getting to the Bills. Now this logo is fucking, this is perfect. This is gonna be my first S tier of the video. It does not get much better than that. That I don't even know. Something about, I like that their thing, like when you think of the Bills, you think of a buffalo, which is their city name. And something about that and it not being the team name is kind of cool to me, but that has nothing to do with how this logo looks. It's just clean. The way in the blue and the red go together, especially when this thing is on the helmet, it just works. I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of, like I was saying earlier, that simplistic feel, but it still pops at you. And I think this is pretty much the perfect example of that. It might be hard finding something that I think beats this. I really, really like this logo. That's about all I can say for it. It's pretty much perfect. I don't have any criticism, and sometimes it's hard to explain why I like it, but it just stands out. So this next one. Okay. This is fucking, it's kind of awesome. It's like a dude. It's really hard grading these compared to the modern ones, because I think in almost every case they're just worse. I mean, they couldn't do what we did today, you know what I mean? It just wasn't even on the table for them. But yeah, in terms of design, I mean. But this this is just fucking awesome. That dude just catching a football or whatever he's doing in front of like basically a green screen of a buffalo. So the buffalo in the back, it's pretty much their logo. It's a little different. I do actually like it, but the realistic guy in front kind of ruins it for me. And for that, I'm going to go with, it's better than Chester the Cheeto, but I do think it's worse than Staley's, but I'm going to go with bad. I think there's something to the buffalo at least. But it's definitely not average even. It's bad. Okay, this little thing, I have no fucking clue what this was. This is one of their throwbacks. Oh, sorry, this was their first ever logo. And again, I don't know what the fuck they were cooking with this shit, but I don't know. I think this is terrible. I think this is worse than the Cheeto guy, because the Cheeto guy has some character or whatever. This is just like a bunch of shit in a football and then it says the name. I also don't really like when it says the name necessarily. I mean, maybe you can do it in a classy way, but I think it's just doing too much. Like, I think a good logo, you know exactly what it is and they don't have to tell you. You know what I mean? You see this and it's like, oh yeah, Buffalo Bill kind of thing. Like, you know what it's talking about, but I don't know. I think this is just not a great design. I'm gonna go with that's terrible. I don't think it's complete trash. It might be, but yeah. Okay, this one though, however, it's at least great. I prefer this over these Niners ones. I think there's just some about the Bills magic in it. It's just a fucking cool buffalo, an outline of a buffalo. I don't know if it has enough to quite be perfect, but when this thing is on the helmet, that's what's kind of really doing it for me. It just pops, and honestly, I think I'm gonna bump it up to perfect for now. This is really good. It just looks so cool. It's a fucking bison, like, and it's not doing too much, but it still pops at you. It's fun. So for one of those like old throwback logos, this is great. This is like pretty much perfect for back then. Okay, moving on to the Broncos. Okay. I am not really a fan of anything the Broncos do. I think a lot of it just lays in their color scheme, but just something about a lot of the way they do things is just tacky looking to me. And this logo is definitely, it's bad. It's hard comparing it to these old ones, you know what I mean? Like it would be really hard to call this thing terrible when like these are here. But honestly, I really don't like it. I mean, it's just like trying too hard, if that makes sense. And I don't know. It's definitely not this bad, but would I rather wear the Staley's thing on a shirt? Absolutely. Would I rather wear this Buffalo guy? Maybe on a shirt, definitely not a helmet, but this is like an alternate, so it's hard to compare. I think I'm gonna stick this here. But yeah, I don't like the Broncos logo. I do think it's bad. I don't know. Color scheme doesn't work for me. The Bears do it better. They just have better shades, or the amount of each shade they use, if that makes sense. It just goes together better for me than the tacky way the Broncos do it. Now, this is a little better. I do think this is about average. I don't think it's as cool as the guy shooting the gun or the bear, but it's at the bottom of average. It's kind of just like it's got a better vibe. It's like a mighty horse looking thing. I would rather see that on the middle of the field than the current logo that they use, and I just don't really like. I mean, this is not made for a helmet, obviously. It's their alternate, so hard to compare, but I don't know. I think it's good and average. I think that's an average logo. It might even, no. It's there. It's there. Okay. Moving on to this. This is fucking trash. Oh my, it's just the Wyoming Cowboys, which is off, except they're riding. I mean, it's like a cowboy rides a horse. Like, I don't know what the fuck they were doing. They just ripped the yellow and brown bar for bar from them, and that shit is butt-ass ugly. If you've ever seen the uniforms that kind of go with these, they are probably the worst uniforms in NFL history. And I mean, they didn't even upgrade that much considering what they use now. This shit is fucking terrible. I wouldn't be caught dead having this on anything near me. Fucking garbage. Now this one. So I think it's something about the shade of blue. It really irks me. I like the baby blue helmet with this logo more, that I kind of, and this blue, as you can see in there, is a lighter shade than this like navy, and I think they go better together. They pop more when they're like that, and this logo does it for me. This is a good logo. I think this is better than the 49er logo, but not quite better than the Bears logo there. This one is good on a helmet, stands out. I think it's a little biased. I'm associating it with the uniforms, but it's just better. It's the best Broncos logo. I wish they just went back to these entirely. Okay. Moving on, we got the Cleveland Browns. Now, I think this is probably a controversial take, but I fucking love this logo. It's just cool. Like, they just have so much swag by doing nothing. They don't have a logo, pretty much. Their logo is them just showing like, yeah, we don't have a logo, so we just took the helmet. It's orange. That's cool as fuck to me. I really like it. I don't know why. It was super unique compared to everything else. I like it more than the Niners, honestly. And it's weird, and I like that. They weren't scared to take a risk, and it looks good. It's the best part of their uniform is that helmet. The uniforms themselves, I don't think I've ever been that fond of. The brown or the orange that they wear. The brown stripe on this is fine. I think that's okay. They're pretty bad colors to go together, so I think doing it in this fashion is the best possible way to handle it. And I think it's great. Honestly, I don't think there's much they could do to improve it with the colors they're working with. And I don't think it's quite perfect because it's not necessarily exactly a logo. I mean, it is, but I don't know. You probably understand what I'm saying there. So I would just call it great. I really like it, though. Now this is a fairly new logo, I'm pretty sure. This weird ass dog. It's their alternate. They've always got the dog pound shit. And this is a bit much. It's one of those... So here's another little tangent I'm gonna go off on. Ever since Nike, I don't even know if Nike made this logo. I'm assuming they maybe had something to do with it, but I have no clue. I couldn't really tell you. But ever since Nike has gotten involved with the uniforms, I'm sure you've seen how they try and put a message into everything and they over detail everything and it just looks really fucking tacky, just not classy. And I prefer a more classy look. Like the Seattle Seahawks uniforms are a great example of that. They're just butt ugly because there's too much shit going on, like in the numbers and the weird way that's striped and everything, and it just doesn't work. And this logo is kind of that. Like it's got the little Ohio in the ear and just a little bit too much detail going on where they're trying to do all the storytelling in the logo. And I think just having a better looking logo is more important to me. So that being said, I'm not really a fan of this. I think this is kind of bad. I would put it above... No, Staley's is better, honestly. I'd rather wear that than this fucking logo. And give me the Broncos, too. Over the weird-ass dog logo. But the idea of the dog pound is cool. And they had some dog logos in the past that I actually did like. It's just that this is their current alternate, so I put it here. Here we got the fuck-ass elf. This was their first logo. I don't think that this is the best representation of the elf. I think they've modernized it and put it at this middle of the field and made it look a little bit better. So in my head, I'm kind of thinking of that one as a lot because I also can't see this one too great just because it's so small for me. But weirdly enough, I think this is kind of average. I don't think this is that bad. The weird-ass elf is kind of silly. It does its job pretty well. It's not as cool as the Bronco, definitely. But for what it is, it's alright. It's not good. But yeah, it's a weird-ass elf. I don't know. Now this shit is fucking terrible, I'm gonna be honest. Okay, so these are like the same thing. This Bills logo and this Browns logo. Like, it's something in a football representing your team, and it just shows you the exact issues of logos back then, the problems that they had, versus logos back now, the problems that they had. These both make the mistakes of their time. The Bills one being just way too fucking much is going on. It looks stupid. Way too much is going on. It looks stupid. And the Browns one being there's not enough going on at all. It's way too oversimplified that it also looks stupid and like it was made by EA for a custom team, you know what I mean? And for that, I think that's a worse crime than the Bills logo, honestly, so I'm gonna put that at terrible. That wraps up the Browns. Moving on to the Buccaneers. Okay, they're a weird one for me. I'm not the biggest fan. I think a lot of it is the color. There's also a bit too much going on in the flag. And just the idea of a flag on a sword is not even really that cool to me, if that makes sense. I'm just not really... It's never really struck me as that interesting. But it's alright on the helmet. I don't mind it. I think it's really a lot of a colors issue and a bit too much going on in terms of the shape. I prefer a more simplistic shape with something that pops in it. It's trying too hard. But I don't think it's bad, I just think it's about average. But I would put it above these. It's gonna go by the Bengals logo here. Yeah, Bengals logo's cooler to me. Okay, this one, however, this little boat, I actually quite like it. Even though I kind of contradict myself here, but it's obviously more... There's more going on than in the flag, but I think in a good way. It maybe forms a better shape. There's also just more excitement coming out of it. Like, if there's too much going on and still nothing is exciting, that's just bad. But this is cool. This is a ship with the logo on it as well, and I kind of like this. I think this is good. I would put this at the I think this is cooler. I don't think it's as cool as the Broncos old logo, but I do think it's cooler than this 49ers emblem here. I like that. That's good. This little thing. If you've seen the uniform, the orange creamsicle unicorn, or not unicorns, uniforms, yeah, you know what this is from. Those uniforms are fucking sweet, but this is the worst part about them. This logo is so ass. It's like comically bad. It's just like a fucking picture of a dude that's like saturated or whatever. I don't like it. I don't think it's trash, but I do think it's bad. I don't think it's quite terrible. These are just worse. But, and I would put it above this Bills logo here. Honestly, probably above the Browns logo, but it's not as good as the Broncos logo. Yeah, it's just bad. It's too much going on. A human as a logo, it doesn't really work for me if it's not like more cartoony, and it just looks strange. Also, the red and orange really don't work that well together to me. Still, it's a little more classy than this weird fucking EA looking dog that the Browns made, so I'll put it there. Now this, I think, so there's a common thing here. The primary logo has, for most of these teams, been pretty much my favorite logo. Bengals are an exception, Broncos are an exception. Yeah, that's it so far. But this Buccaneers logo here, definitely their best logo. I would even go as far as to put this in great. That is awesome. I really wish that thing was on the helmet and not the current. I mean, this is just, like I said, doing too much and still not getting the job done. This is more simple of it, a better looking shape. It's more appealing to the eye, in my opinion. The colors are better worked out with the black, and I don't know, I think it just works better. It's not trying as hard and it's still doing something cooler. And this was a throwback logo that they had. I think it was an alternate for them in the past, and I think it's the best thing they've ever come up with. I think it's great. It's a really cool logo. Okay, moving on to the Cardinals. This modern one, at first I liked it. I was like, this is good. And I think I'm probably still leaning there because it's pretty sleek. But the more I look at it, the weirder it gets. Like, especially the black area around the beak and everything. I've never like really taken it in. I've just kind of always looked at it briefly and never focused on it too hard. And the more I look at it, the weirder it gets. But I do still think it lands in good. I would probably place it ahead of this Broncos logo. It's a little bit more sleek. And it's just a Cardinal. It gets the job done. I mean, you can see what it's going for. I like it. It's good. Now this, from when they were the St. Louis Cardinals, it's pretty bad. The Cardinal with a football running through an arch. Now it's old, so obviously, like in the past, there's like a little bit of a bias there, you know what I mean? But, or not a bias, but it just, they couldn't do what we did today. It's not really, it's hard to compare, but at the end of the day, this is probably still pretty terrible. I like it more than these footballs. It's kind of in the similar lane to Chester over here. Like, it's a little bit goofy, but there's something there. It's kind of funny, so it's not the worst logo on here. There's a reason to look at it, you know what I mean? But I do think it's still terrible. This is from when they were the Chicago Cardinals. This is their first logo ever. And honestly, for a first shot, I mean, it looks like a baseball logo. I don't think it's that bad. I think it's average. But for what the time you're working with, like 19, maybe even earlier than the 20, I think it would be the 1910s for the Cardinals. I mean, it's fairly sleek, honestly. I think I prefer it over the Bucks logo. I don't mind this at all. I think it's a decent logo. Gets the job done. Chicago Cardinals. Looks more like a baseball logo. That's my only complaint. And similar vein to these Bears here, but I think it's just not as good. This is a little bit more classy. This Cardinals logo is quite strange. It's a very hyper-realistic cardinal standing on a football. It's also like kind of orange and not really as red as I would think it would be. And I'm not sure how much I like it. I don't think it's quite terrible, but I would not call it even average. I think it's bad. I think it's a little better. No, it really isn't. It's leaning on terrible, but I do think it's better than Chester. It really isn't. It isn't. It's going below Chester. But I do think it's a little better than this logo that they made in the past. But Chester's sillier. So he gets a little bit more points. So yeah, I think that's a terrible logo. Yeah, I'm sticking to it. Chargers. This little bolt here. Pretty sleek, but it's kind of nothing. You know what I mean? And for that reason, I do think it's pretty much average. I think it's better than the Bengals, just colors alone. And it's a lightning bolt. A lightning bolt is kind of cooler than just the letter B. And it does look really good on the helmets, actually. I will give it that. Like, I think it was made for a helmet, which I kind of like. So in that case, I actually do think I'm going to bump it up to good, but borderline. I think it's at the end. I do think this little 49er emblem is a cooler logo. This is a little clunky. It's a bit too narrow and skinny and just weird to deal with, in my opinion. But I think it's good. This little LA is an alternate that I think they started using when they moved back to LA. And it's quite boring. I don't think it's terrible, but it's like, or it's not even bad. It's just average. It's pretty much nothing. I think it's cooler than Buddy the Elf or whatever, but it's not quite as cool as that Bronco. Now this little emblem, I was surprised that this was their first logo. I think this might be the first instance where the team's first logo, in my opinion, is maybe their best one. This is cool. This is a good looking emblem. I think it's good. I would put it ahead of the Niners one. It's like, as an emblem style looking thing, I think it's just better than this. I think you can get away with doing a bit more if you're into like an emblem looking style thing. And I don't think it's quite as cool as this Bucks logo here, but I think this is a good logo. It kind of gets the point across of the Chargers. There's the lightning and the horse like charging in there. The colors are like separated well. I like it. This one is a more modern version of it, and I think I just have to say this is also good. I like the bolt a little bit more. They're fairly similar. A lot of it has to do with the color to me. This is obviously taking inspiration from their first logo, but making the colors the modern version. And I don't think it does as much. It doesn't quite do enough. Honestly, yeah, I think it might even be average. Just looking at the Bengals logo, I think that's better. So yeah, I'm gonna go with there. I think it's better than this Cardinals one though. The Chiefs. Okay, we all hate the Chiefs, obviously. I mean, they fell off a cliff, so we kind of forgot about them this year with Mahomes getting injured and everything, but I think you gotta give it to them. This logo is pretty fucking good. I might even go with... Okay, so it's definitely here. It's at least great. Now, it's not the level of these Bills logos, but I think it might still qualify as perfect. Really fucking good logo. Gets the point across. Tells the story of the team. The arrowhead for the Chiefs, like the KC in it looks good. It's a nice classy font. It works on the helmets. It's a really... I think it might be a perfect logo. I mean, because I think there is a separate tier between Browns and Chiefs there. I think you got to give it to them. Did a good job. So here's an alternate kind of thing. I guess they used to have the helmet style logo. This is a clear drop off. This is pretty tacky looking. It still has their logo in it, which carries a bit, but I think they kind of lazily did the way this helmet looked too. I'm not really a fan of it. I think it's bad. I do think it's better than Buffalo Bill looking thing here with this guy trying to catch the ball. I mean, so I think it's got to be in bad there. It's weird because it still has their classy logo in it. So I think it's not, I don't know. I think it's just the way this helmet is designed is not great, but it's not as good as the Broncos logo. This thing, you didn't hate the Chiefs before. Here's the reason. This is a wacky logo. This is terrible. That was their first logo ever. So caricature of an Indian, or I guess Native American dude, and it is strange. It also puts all these states in here that, I mean, you don't have to be a Kansas City fan if you're from not Kansas or Missouri. So like, I don't know. This is bad. I think it's probably the worst logo so far. The Chiefs are one of the weird teams I mentioned earlier as well, where they were originally named the Texans for some reason, and I think they were either the Houston Texans or the Dallas Texans. One of them was Dallas, or maybe it was even somewhere else. So I didn't include that. I included this, their first logo, as the Chiefs. That's absolute trash. That is, I don't know if we're even gonna get anything worse than that. It's pretty bad. Okay, now we got this throwback version of the Chiefs logo. This is similar to the Bills here. Pretty much the same concept. It's kind of like this Niner one as well. I think you can kind of see how I'm pairing them there. This, the modern Chiefs version is just a slightly better version of that. So I think they got it both going perfect. They're pretty much doing the same thing. Okay, onto the Colts. The Colts are weird. It's hard to tell how much I like this one. It's pretty sleek, honestly. And it works really well on a helmet. But I don't know if it does enough for me. You know what I mean? So for that reason, I'm gonna go with good. But I do think it's very good. I think this is borderline great. I do like this logo. It's just a horseshoe. It's classy, but it does pop a little bit. So I think it's close to great, but not quite. But I'm struggling to find enough to talk about it, and to me, I think that solidifies that it's good. This Colts alternate, it's a C horseshoe shaped as well, and it's got the Indiana state shape in it. It's doing too much. It's definitely not bad. But I do think even something like this bear is cooler and this horse is cooler. I mean, yeah, I think it kind of fits here. Honestly, the LA is a little bit classier. This is just a little tacky, trying to do too much to fit the state shape in there. It's not bad, but it's average. I'm not really the biggest fan of it. Okay, now we got this Baltimore Colts. They were also a team, I believe, that had a different name before this, but I decided not to include it. I forget why. But I might be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this logo is pretty terrible. It did the thing I said earlier where it's telling the name. Way too much going on. There's a horse jumping through a goalpost. I think it's more sleek than these just football looking logos, but I don't think it's as good as this Cardinal even. Just too much. The font is wacky too. It's really just, it's doing way too much. Now here's a more simplified version of it, a different throwback. And I actually quite like this. This is pretty decent. I would call this good. I don't think it's not as good as the Bengals. No, it is. It's better than the Bengals logo. Narrowly. I don't think it's as good as the Charger. It's pretty cool. Just a bucking horse wearing a Colt helmet with the logo on it. I think that does a decent job. Like, for these older looking logos, this is a pretty good example. it kind of isn't doing too much. It's a little bit of an outline, but it does pop a bit. So I like it. It's good. Okay, now we got one of the worst teams for logos in the league. Holy fuck, this shit is trash. So we got the Washington Commies, the Commanders. This is just a fucking college logo. They made this shit in fucking ChatGPT, bro. That is ass. I'm gonna be real. It's not worse than the racist Indian one, or Native American one. And it's not worse than the this color scheme here, but I mean, this color scheme is not great by any means, and this shit just looks corny. It's like a college logo, oversimplified. It doesn't belong in the NFL, and I really just don't like it. I mean, this brown is better, honestly. And it is kind of has the same issue, but it even does a little bit more, and I am not a fan of this at all. The Commanders logo, butt cheek asshole dog shit. This, however, okay, it's doing too much, obviously, but I would not call it trash or even terrible. But it is an emblem. It's weird. I don't think it fits as a logo, really. But it's listed as their alternate. And it's kind of sleek. I would rather wear it than this, but it's a bit too much going on. Better than the dog. But I think the Bucks one is a little bit better. I think it's bad, but it's an improvement on this fucking nothing of a logo. May as well just fucking done a Browns and just not had a logo. This shit, this is their first logo. It is a Native American. It is overly detailed. It's terrible, but what are you gonna do? It's one of those old logos that just happens. I do think it's better than Mr. Cardinal here, because it's a little bit more simple. It's only two, well, this is really only two colors too, but I think it gets its job done a little better, but I think it's not as good as Chester the Cheeto here. Just for, if we're going based on that style of logo, I think this is a little cooler. I think it's terrible. And this, the Redskins logo. Obviously I had to include this. I think this is a good logo. I don't think this is bad by any means. And I think I'm actually going to bump the Bengals up here. I think I just keep seeing them. They make more sense and good to me than an average. So I'm going to slightly bump them there. However, this is better than the Bengals logo. It's also better than this Colts logo and better than this 49er emblem. Better than this Charger emblem. I would even go as far as to say this is a pretty good logo. I think it's better than I don't think we're hitting the Bears. The Bears is a little too iconic, but the Native American, I mean, this logo apparently was also honoring a specific member of a tribe. So while the name I think was bad and should have gone, it's fucking racist, the Redskins. I do think that this could have stayed. I'm totally fine with this. I think this was honoring Native American people, but I understand doing an entire brand wipe of it. You don't want anything associated with the racist name being left over, but I do think this could stay or even make a comeback. You know what I mean? I'm cool with this. The feather coming off is cool. The way that just the circular emblem, it's a good logo. Okay, now here's one that I think weirdly might be controversial, but maybe it isn't. The Cowboys is an S tier logo. It is doing very little, but it's so good at it. It pops like nothing else. Like it's an incredible logo. The star on the helmet is so iconic. Like, we obviously all hate the Cowboys, but I think we have to admit that, like, there's a reason the brand is so big of the Cowboys. This is just like elite. It doesn't really get much better than this. I like it a lot. Good logo. This is something that you see people wearing on jackets and shirts and hats and everything, and it looks good. It's clean, it's not doing too much. It fits pretty much anywhere. And honestly, I think it's better than the Chiefs logo. I think the Bills is still gonna top it. Even this Bill. But honestly, I'm gonna separate them. I think this Cowboy logo is better than this old Bill logo. Just because I was even thinking about this might be great. And this is obviously perfect. So I am going to put it there. I don't think it's better than the Bills logo, but it's really good. This logo. This is, I guess they pretty much had the star the whole time. So this is like a alternate throwback, kind of an alternate of this weird alternate, I guess. This shit is ass. I mean, I think they knew it was ass. They've never touched this thing. It's pretty terrible. Yeah, quite horrendous, honestly. It's not quite as bad as these football ones, but doing too much. It's even doing more than this and just a little clumped up here. And not a fan of the cowboy riding the horse there, whatever the fuck is going on. It just looks like a little kid scribbled it. It's fucking lazy. This star is also iconic. I think the Bill here is better, but this is also an iconic star logo. It reminds me of Thanksgiving. For some reason, I feel like they wear this one on Thanksgiving a lot and matches those colored uniforms a bit, and I like it. I think this is a good... this was also their first logo. I think they improved the star, but I think this star also... I mean, it's really simple. It's just a fucking star, but it's the Cowboys, you know what I mean? And I think it's just kind of perfect for logo purposes. This one. It's definitely a better version of this one, but it's still doing a bit too much. I think I'm gonna put this in bad. It's a little bit better than Chester the Cheeto here. I'd wear it on a shirt, maybe a little bit more likely, but it's not as good as this one. This at least has an idea of the outline of the buffalo and everything, so that's funny. I actually put them pretty much... It looks like I just view the Bills and the Cowboys timeline of logos very similar. I put all of their logos next to each other, which is quite strange, but yeah, I think that's where the Cowboys stand. Moving on to the Dolphins. The Dolphins are pretty elite. I can't even lie. I think this might be a controversial one too. I've seen people shit on this logo. I really like this logo. I think this is at least great. It's better than the Browns. I think it's gonna be at the top of great, because it might be doing slightly too much to reach these stylistic ones, but it's really fucking good. And the colors, the way that it does the colors are awesome. I think if it was this looking one, but kind of combined with the helmet, it might be perfect. That might do just enough to like pop it to the top for me. But now if we're going uniforms, I do think the Dolphins are pretty much as good as it gets. I love their uniforms. But the logo itself, not quite perfect. Almost there. Really good logo though. Great for sure. Again, the colors have a lot to do with it. It's sleek. The way the sun pops out, it's awesome. This Dolphins, this is an alternate one apparently. Maybe just a different throwback. It's holding a football. I think this is good. I think this is... yeah, I mean, it's fairly cool. It's doing something. I think it's better than the Bengal and this Colt. I would even put it ahead of the Charger and the Niner here. This Charger as well. Yeah, it's actually fairly similar to this to me, like as an alternate. It's just like doing the job of the normal logo, but a little bit more. I think the Buccaneer ship is a little bit cooler. So I'm gonna go with the Dolphin holding the football there. This is the Dolphins' first logo. Now, I think they made clear improvements. I think this thing isn't even really centered, and that kind of weirds me out a bit. I'm not a fan of that necessarily. I do like the helmet being on him, but it's also a little weirdly realistic, the dolphin, and it also kind of looks more like a fish. I don't know. I think this one is pretty average. I think this Chargers logo is better, and even this Cardinals logo, as well as the Bucks logo, but I think this is better than the bear here. This is average. It's not bad by any means. It's the blueprint for what becomes great. This one, this is another throwback alternate kind of thing. This is also great, I think. It's essentially the same thing. The dolphin's just shaped a little bit better. I think if you took the helmet idea, which I like more, and put it onto this one, you know what? The more I'm even thinking about it, I like this one more. The helmet thing is just a little bit cooler. The way the dolphin, his face is a little bit cooler. I just wish his shape was more like this. This looks more natural, and I kind of like the sun better. Combine these, you got a perfect one. I think these are both sitting on great, though. I like them quite a bit. I think I'm going to get some shit for this one, but I do not like the Eagles logo. I think this is bad. It's better than the Broncos logo. I'll give it that, but narrowly. I prefer the Kelly green color. I think weird to say navy green, but that's kind of what it feels like. It's just not good. I don't think it works well with this like gray and silver fading. And honestly, the more I'm looking at it, it's not as good as the Bronco one, and it's not even as good as these. It's better than the shitty fucking dog pound one, though. Yeah. This emblem's a little... it's better than this emblem. But I don't like it, and it's also facing left, and it just pisses me off. I don't know what it is. I think it's the only logo that faces left that like has a direction, and it just pisses me the fuck off. It looks stupid. Their helmets, however, are cool. Having the wing and everything, that is totally fine. But I do not like this logo. It just is doing, it looks like a high school logo. I mean, I know high school probably literally rip it and then recolor it or whatever, but I feel like it's more of a high school team than an NFL team. And I'm not really a fan of it. It's doing too much. It's bad. It's not quite terrible, but it's definitely bad. This E, I don't know if I like this or not. It's doing a bit too much, but it's not as bad as the logo. But I would still call it bad. Honestly, I think I'm going to put them next to each other. No, this is better than the Tampa Bay thing. I don't know. As an alternate, it's kind of getting its job done. I could see it being worn, but I think it fits. I think they fit together. It's just not really that good. It's bad. But a little bit more not doing too much than its primary logo. This fucking thing is incredibly stupid. It's just like a fucking picture of a bird holding a football, but like black and white grayish. I don't even know what the fuck they were thinking here. This shit is ass. I'm gonna go with terrible. It's better than this though. I'll give it that. It's not as good as Chester over here. He's kind of locking down the top of terrible, but it's definitely terrible. That shit is so fucking stupid looking. It's blue though, which if you've seen their old blue and yellow uniforms, I actually quite like those, but yeah, this doesn't work. Too much. That's a big issue in a lot of these. This fucker, I think it's probably their best logo, but it's also doing too much. But it reminds me more of the Kelly Green uniforms, which that's maybe a little bit of a bias there. But it's still a bit extra as a logo. It's really wide, and I'm not a fan of that. Like, it's too stretched wide. I mean, it's obviously an eagle spreading its wings, but it doesn't have like a good base or center to me. But I think it's better than the other ones. I think it is better than this and this, but not quite the Broncos modern logo. So I'm going to sit it there. It's bad. Okay, next up we got the Falcons. The Falcons are an interesting one. They feel too modern to me in a way that I don't really like. It is kind of neat that they do the F, but also I'm just not really a fan of it. I don't know what it is. I think it's just kind of bad. It looks a little tacky to me. It just thinks like it screams Nike, and I don't really like it. It's better than the Broncos though. I think it's better than Staley's. I think this is close to average, but you know what? I'm gonna give it average because I think it's better than the Elf. I just keep moving it up. I don't think it's as cool as this Bronco though. But yeah, I'll go with that. And while I'm at it, I'm actually gonna move this Bronco up. Bronco's not as cool as the Bear, but I think it's better than this Niner. So is this Falcon. Okay. ATL. This just makes it even cornier. This is bad. I don't think it's like inherently terrible, but it's just like corny. It is terrible. It's a little bit graphic design, corny. I think it's the top of terrible. I think it's finally gonna knock Chester from his spot, but it's just, yeah, it's corny. It's an alternate though. It's not really too much to hate. This one, it's really awkward. It was their first logo ever, but I don't mind it that much. Like, I mean, this is, I don't know, it feels more like ominous, and I kind of like it. And it's also, the F is a little bit cleaner to me. Well, it's less smooth, but it feels more like a F. And I think it's a little bit, I think it's still average. I don't know if it's quite good, but I think it's better than their current one. And I would also place it ahead of that. Yeah, I think that's a good placing. This Falcons logo, I think this is their best logo, weirdly enough. It's a random alternate I found. I think this is good. I wouldn't quite put it ahead of the Bengal, but the Atlanta Falcon, I think it gets the job done better than any of the other ones, weirdly. I mean, it's kind of their weirdest one in here, and I think it just still pops the most. I think it's a lot to do with this red as well. None of these have that red that pops out as much. Okay, next up we got the Giants. The Giants are a weird one. I think they just have to be average. It's just 2 letters. But it doesn't scream iconic as much as some of the other ones. It just doesn't pop quite the same. Even though I do think it maybe should be iconic in its own right, just because like 4 Super Bowls and everything. But it doesn't do it for me. I'm going to throw it ahead of... It's going to be at the top of average. I think it's almost good. But I would not place it next to this. This is a little cooler. This Bengals one with the stripes. And this Atlanta Falcon here. I think it's going to be at the top of average. It's almost good. This is doing too much. I do think this is bad. This Giants alternate here. It's got the logo in it, then spells Giants in the capital version of the font. And I'm not really a fan of it. I think it fits kind of here with this Eagles logo. I actually think I'm going to separate them here. Because I think it's... No. It's worse than the Eagles' normal logo. But it is a little bit better than this Commanders logo. It just says Giants. It's lazy. This is awesome. It's so stupid. Like, it's objectively terrible. But it looks like a little kid's crayon drawing, and it says New York Football Giants on it, and there's something inherently cool about that. I think it is almost trash, but it's being saved by the fact that I think it's kind of funny. So we're gonna throw it in just terrible. But at the bottom, it is fucking close. That thing is abysmal. This logo here of the little New York, weirdly enough, I like it more narrowly. It's close. It's just like more retro-y, and it feels more like it's doing something than just spelling it. I don't know. It's kind of hard to make a Giants logo, I feel like, so that's why. But even though this is more simple, I honestly like it a little bit more, but I don't think it's quite good. Still quite average. Okay, now we got the Jaguars. I think the Jaguars main logo here is going to go in good. I think it's going to go right behind the Redskins, or I guess Commanders' old logo. And then, sorry, right ahead of the Cardinals here. I think that's a good spot. I like the blue tongue. It does a little more than the Cardinals, and maybe it does a little too much at some points, but I still think it's good enough and sleek enough to where I'm cool with that, because it's a leopard or a jaguar. You kind of have to do a bit more, and I like it. I think this is good. This emblem here, pretty much the same thing. However, I think it takes away from it slightly, and I would rather have the Cardinal logo than the badge logo. This also reminds me of the fucking shit mustard jerseys that they wore, whatever the fuck that was. Now this version of it is better. This is a great logo. I'm going to put this ahead of the 49ers. Ahead of the Browns even. I really fucking like that logo. This shit from the 90s. Honestly, I think 90s kind of was peak logo time. Like, they had, well, not quite, because sometimes they were doing a little too much, but when I think of like really cool logos or uniforms, I think of expansion teams from the 90s did it right a lot of the time. Like in the NBA as well, I think of the Grizzlies and the Raptors, and they had some sick ass jerseys, like the iconic one with the Raptor on it with Vince Carter. And this is kind of that like style to me, and that style to me just works. And the more I'm talking about it, honestly, I think it's got to go to the top of great. This is a fucking, that logo is incredible. Now we're talking incredible. I had never seen this shit before. Holy fuck, is this cool. This is perfect. This Jaguars logo is fucking awesome. I know it looks like it might be doing too much, but it just isn't. Like, it's sleek. Everything is there for a purpose, weirdly. Like, also, when I think of this Jaguar like on the side of their retro jerseys, and it's fucking awesome. Like, I think of Maurice Jones-Drew, I think that was his name, wearing this little thing on his sleeve, not the entire logo. I don't think I'd ever seen the entire thing, but just that is awesome. I think it has to be perfect. I don't think it's quite as iconic as these, and it's clearly a different vibe from these, but I like what it's doing so much that I think it really hits. I'm gonna put it at the bottom of perfect. The fucking Jets. Okay. This shit is so ass. Oh my god. Okay, I think it's better than the Commanders narrowly. Like, we are close. It is literally just because of this little plane. But I'm talking, this is literally cooler. I would rather wear this on a fucking hat than the stupid fucking Jets new logo. That is some hot dog shit. I do not fuck with that at all. Bad. I don't know why they changed it to that. It also just reminds me of Aaron Rodgers tearing his Achilles, and it makes me sad. So I'm not a fan. This is their alternate. Weirdly enough, it's a little better. I don't mind it. It's kind of just the Jet. It get rid of this corny ass fucking font. It puts it in the old football. It's still not even average. I think it's bad, but I would rather wear something with this on it than even a Bronco logo. I think it's a little bit more sleek, even though it's not really doing anything. This, however, I think this was their first logo, and this might have actually been a team where I didn't include their first team for some reason, but this is the first Jets logo, and this is actually really good. Weirdly, I think it's great, honestly. This is better than the Colts logo in my opinion. Not quite this Bucks one. I think they hit on the first time they tried. Like, it has the Jet. I don't know why they're so insistent on either not having the Jet or making it this stupid little fucking graphic that doesn't even show the fucking Jet. But like, they actually hit. The Jet looks cool. They did a really, it's kind of the style of this buffalo here. And then this font of the Jets, it's the same one they use now. and it's hitting. I am very cool with this logo. I really wish they actually brought it back. I think it would fit on the helmet better too. They hit and then they just fucking fell off a cliff after that. I'm really fond of that Jets logo. This one is either average or good. I think it's just got to be average for me. I do think it's at the top end of average, slightly less clunky than this logo. I think it kind of fits with the Giants here, honestly. Like, it works good on that white helmet. It's a good, nice circle. It's fairly pleasing to look at, but it just doesn't really do anything to stand out. So that's why I would not quite consider it good. It's kind of just average, but it does enough. And they just need to go back to this. Their first logo was a fucking banger. But yeah, okay. We got the Lions. Lions are pretty good. I think they're going to either be the top of good. Yeah, I don't think they're quite great. I mean, you know what? I think it's a great logo. I like the Lions logo. It's pretty good. It's nice. It's got a good, like, it pops. It's a little simple. I think they're like it's fairly similar to this Bills logo, but there's not that pop of red, and also a little too much extra detail for no reason, I guess. I actually prefer their like 90s logos where that isn't there. But this is great. I like the Lions logo. It's a good color too. You can't go wrong with the baby blue. I do think the Jets logo is a little cleaner though. That first Jets logo. Now this fucking thing, this is an alternate one of the throwbacks, and I thought it was so funny. That I don't get this logo, why they bring it back all the time, but it's funny to make fun of them for doing it. I think it's got to go in bad. Okay. It literally, if anything else was in this circle, the way that this circle is made is enough to like put it in average, but this little logo being in there is just so fucking goofy that I can't do it. I think it's better than this Chiefs helmet though. I'll put it there. Goofy ass art drawing of a fucking lion. It's just so funny. It's I don't know what they were thinking, but yeah, I like it there. I think it's bad. So apparently the Lions used to be called the Spartans. I think this is Portsworth. I can't fucking read it. The font is too small for me, but one of the teams where I ended up including their first team for some reason. I don't know why. It felt more appropriate. I think it gave me more options to pick from. This is just average. It's fucking font. It's pretty below average. I think the Elf is cooler. You know what? Staley's is even better than that. I think it's bad. It's just kind of shitty font. Not too shitty, but yeah. I think that's fair. Not quite as corny as this little graphic, though. This, I think, has to pretty much be right by it, but I will put it below the Chief. The other thing is, it's the fucking Twin Towers lion. Like, you can't avoid it. Why does it look like two fucking towers and the lion is crashing into it? It's so funny. I don't know if that's what your brain goes to, but it's what mine goes to every time I see this fucking thing. And when they whip it out on the old silver helmet or whatever, it just looks so goofy, and I gotta give it to them. It's funny, at least, but yeah, it's better than this Tampa Bay Buck, but not quite there. Okay, so here's where my bias is absolutely going to fucking kick in. But I also think I'm just right as well. Like, this Packers logo it has to be perfect. And I mean, the Packers, if not the most iconic franchise, maybe it's the Cowboys, are at least up there, like top 3. The Steelers are pretty iconic too. The G, it just speaks for itself, man. It feels kind of tacky just being a Packers fan putting it there, but it's so clean that... See, I want to be like unbiased and take it out of like the top spot, because I obviously am biased, but I think even taking bias aside, it's just the best logo. Like, I wear the G all the time, and just fashion wise, I feel cool in it. even cooler than the star or if I were wearing the bill. Like, it works. It's a perfect fucking logo. I know it looks kind of like Georgia or whatever, but I think the green and yellow is more unique of a color scheme that makes it more interesting to me, where I gotta go with it being perfect, honestly. I mean, it's my personal favorite logo. This is my tier list. It's my personal favorite logo. A part of that probably has to do with my bias, but the G is just so fucking classic. It doesn't get any more classic than that. And here's where I'm like, I don't know if this is all biased, because some of these are ass. These other Packers ones, it's fucking hippie font or whatever from like the 50s and 60s is... I do think it's more interesting than the ATL. So I'm willing to put it there, but it's kind of in the same lane of these just like, what the fuck were you doing? You were doing too much, says the Packers, in a weird hippie style, and that's kind of it. And I don't think that's that great, but I think it's less tacky than this fucking stupid EA looking font for ATL. This is a fucking poster. I don't know how this is a logo. The funny thing is I actually have this poster on my wall of their like OG logo right here. I think as a poster it's awesome, but as a logo, I think it also fits kind of down here in terrible. But I mean, what are you gonna do? It's their first logo. They were a fucking meat packing company. I think it's better than this overdone bird, but not quite as cool as Chester here. I'm gonna keep using Chester as a fallback. Then we're going on to this one. I don't hate this one, but it's definitely not good. It's probably average. I think the Broncos modern logo is cooler than it. Honestly, even the old lion is it's got a little bit more charm than just, this is doing too much. The state of Wisconsin and a guy throwing a football over it. I think it's a better version of this. Similar things, a dude being in a place he really shouldn't be, like on a green screen. And you know what? The Bills even better, I'm gonna be honest, but it's better than that Cowboys one. But yeah, because the Bill, at least, like I said earlier, has that outline of something interesting. This is just a football with a Wisconsin. It's doing too much. It's bad. Not terrible. Okay, moving on to the Panthers. I quite like the Panthers logo. I think it's great. I don't think it's quite the Bears. And I don't think it's quite... no, it's better than Spangle, honestly. Better cat. I think it's a little bit slicker than this cat. This one's a little bit more, like, too cartoony. This one's a little more logo-y, the Panthers one. So I'm going to go with the Panthers one in good. I think it's a good logo. I think the Jaguars hit the 90s aesthetic way better than them. But, yeah. This is an alternate logo. They kind of didn't have a lot to pick from. And, I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, this has to go in trash, bro. What are we doing? It's hard to even see it. It's just the outline of the teeth or whatever. And, I mean, I know it's an alternate logo, but it's so fucking lazy. It's honestly worse than the Jets and the Commanders. Like, this is unusable as a logo. It's just a fucking few outlines of a line. It's trash. Just laziness. This is their OG logo, similar to the Jaguars. I think it's better than their modern version, but I don't know if it's... You know what? I'm willing to put it in great. I think the outlines and everything is just the way it's formed. White whiskers pop a little more. It's definitely better than this one, and enough to where I think it's better than the Colts logo. Maybe even better than... No, Lions logo is a little bit classier, but I think that's a great logo. Good style for them. Now this, I think, very similar to the Jaguars here. The way that they do things, like the way that they changed their modern logo, the way that they had their old logo, and the way that they have this full body version of the logo. This is fucking cool. I like the full Panther. I'd never seen this before. I do think this is better than the Lions. This Jets is a little bit classy though, like... These are more simplistic. This is doing a bit too much. It's obviously great still, but yeah, I would like to see them use this more. I feel like they've abandoned it. I think they did officially abandon it like over 10 years ago. And I feel like I would like this like on the side of a uniform, maybe even on a helmet. I think it could work, or the middle of the field. Like, this is a cool looking Panther. I like seeing it in its full context. I think it adds a lot to it. So I'm gonna put it there. Great logo. The Patriots. I think they're really just being boosted by the fact that they have won so much. They've like forced it to be iconic, but I really just am not. I don't think it's that interesting. I do think it belongs in good, at least, but I'm not going to say it's better than this version of the Dolphins logo, but I think it's better than this Chargers. And one thing that I will give to it is that it works really well on the helmet, the way it the way it shapes around it and curves around the helmet. So I'll give them that. It's good for sure. We got this new thing. I'd never seen this before. So this is a new Patriots alternate logo. It's kind of got the face in the N and the E for New England, but at the end of the day, it's doing a bit too much. And I think it's kind of just a better version of this Commanders emblem. I didn't know teams were shifting into this emblem thing. I do think they execute it better than the Commanders. It's more interesting. So I'm willing to put it in average. But yeah, I think the elf is cool, honestly. Give me the Browns elf. I think this is close. It's just a bit nothing. It really shouldn't exist, in my opinion. It's average. This, that being their first logo, it's not even recognizable. I don't even know what the fuck it is, you know what I mean? But apparently this is the Patriots' first logo, and I had never seen this before. I'm sure some of you guys obviously have, but I have no fucking clue what it even is supposed to be. So maybe if one of you has watched this far through, it's been a fucking hour, let me know, but I have no fucking clue what that is. But that being said, as a design, it's not horrendous. I just don't know what it is. I think that's what puts it down. But I honestly like it, the way it looks. It's more appealing to the eye. I'd rather wear it on like a hat than this little emblem. Even more than this Colt, I think. But the LA, at least I know what it is. I think it's around the similar vein of these logos here, and I think the LA is slightly better. So I'm willing to put it there. Again, can someone please let me know what the fuck that is? I have no clue. Okay, this one is weird. This is one of their throwbacks. The dude snapping the football, the Patriot, the Yankee guy. And I don't know how to feel, because on that uniform, like I think the red helmet or red jerseys, it's one of the two. I think it's white helmet, red jerseys, that uniform that the Patriots wear. It honestly looks pretty fucking sweet, but by itself, it's like, it's not that, it's weird. It's a weird case. It's kind of similar to Elf Guy here, where I think it's somewhat average, but it kind of gets the job done in a way that I would not expect it to. And honestly, I'm willing to put it over their other old one. It's better than the 49ers shooting the gun too. It's a little bit more like on theme, and I've seen it like be used successfully before. It worked. So I think maybe it has an unfair advantage there, but I'll give it to it. It's an average logo. It's all right. The Raiders. The Raiders hit for sure. Theirs is at least good. It's pretty classic. You see this shit, you know exactly who the guy is wearing it. You know what I mean? You know what a Raiders fan looks like. This emblem speaks, but it's a little bit boring. I think this is a good spot for it, honestly. I think the Colt is slightly better, a little bit cleaner. This is doing a little too much, and it's just doesn't have any color that pops to me as much. But I do think it's good. Not quite great though, but we're almost there. This was just like their logo from a few years ago. They didn't really have many options. That's pretty much the same fucking thing, so I'm just gonna put them next to each other. I think slight difference in shading, and that's about it. This is strange. This is their first logo, obviously, and I don't think it's good, but it kind of started the blueprint. I don't know what the yellow is doing. I do think it's bad, however, but I'm willing to say it's slightly... I don't think it's as good as this Packers one, but I do think it's a little better than this weird Cowboys one, because there's kind of a vision here. But it just feels like too loosey-goosey. This old Throwback Raider, I actually quite like. I don't know if it's quite as good, but I do think it's good. It's almost the same. Like, it's obviously fairly different, but in terms of ranking, I think it's pretty much the same thing. They kind of do the same idea to me. I think these modern versions are slightly better, so I'm willing to put them pretty much 3 next to each other. But shout out to the Raiders for not changing it up too much. Okay, now here is where I think I'm gonna piss some people off. This is maybe the worst logo in fucking sports history. I hate it so fucking much. It is butt-ass ugly. It looks like a fucking stupid tech company. It's hard for me to see right here, but I know that they have like the weird gradient, like the way it fades in. And it just looks like a little fucking kid touched Photoshop and like made some shit like this. Or it actually looks AI. Like, it's fucking terrible. It's worse than this fucking racist atrocity by the Chiefs. This is racist for being so bad. I'm willing to call them that. That's how fucking terrible that Rams logo is. It pisses me off. Such a fucking downgrade over what they had. Just fucking dog shit. It will probably be the worst placement on this list. It's not. I really hate it. I don't know what it is. Pisses me off so much. It actually makes me mad. Such an abysmal fucking abomination of a logo. It is literally worse than racism. Now we got this one goofy ass fucking looking Ram thing. Also, bro, I don't want to dogpile on the Rams. I know Rams fans in real life that might watch this, and I apologize. It's nothing personal. This sucks. I fucking hate this thing. Like, I think I have to put this in trash. This is better than this abomination, but it's pretty much the same thing with a stupid, weirdly fucking looking... You know what? The face is kind of cool. I just don't like the way it goes with the horns. I'll put it in terrible. Because it's not as boring as the Jets or the Commanders here, but I do think it's worse than this. I'm not even kidding. The like little kid drawing of fucking the big time Giants or the New York Football Giants. I think this is like, I would rather wear this on a hat than this. I'm gonna be real. You know what? I'm lying. The Jets logo is better than this. I will give the... I think it's trash. It's trash. I'm being too generous. This one fits in this lane. This is pretty much terrible. It's like it fits right in between these. It's kind of like if these two had a baby. It's overly done, but it's old. What are you gonna do? There's not really much you can say. Too much detail in weird places, but not enough to make it pop anywhere. This logo, however, they fucking hit, and for some reason they got rid of it for this bullshit ass fucking stupid gradient logo. But their colors back then were perfectly fine. They were good. This Rams logo is absolutely good. I'm willing to put it right around... It's not as good as the Jaguars. Like the Jaguars present day logo, but I do think I'm willing to put this next to the Cardinals, honestly. No, the Jags emblem is cooler too, but yeah, I'm cool with that there. I think this is a pretty decent logo. It's good. They had it pretty much right. It was a good logo. It wasn't great. I mean, it doesn't really stand out that much, but it worked. And they didn't have to put it on the helmet because they have the ram horns, obviously. So I think this was fine. But they fucking did this atrocity fucking war crime against mankind, making this bullshit. And the thing that scares me the most is that I'm terrified, like, that it's got this modern, SoFi is $5 billion stadium, we're the modern new Rams or whatever, we're from LA. Like, I'm scared that other teams might follow this bullshit, and I really hope they don't, because they put it on the jerseys too, the way that they fucking numbers, gradient, the color is... It's bad. It's just atrocious. I don't think it... I think this is probably the worst logo I've seen ever. Maybe not ever. There's some bad company logos, but NFL-wise, I think it's the worst. I would rather wear this racist fucking Chiefs thing on a shirt than this Rams logo. Okay, we got the Ravens. Ravens are pretty sleek. Gotta give it to them. 90s expansion teams did it right. I think that this Ravens logo, I mean, it really hasn't changed, and I think we can give it a great, honestly. I think this is a great logo. It's not quite as good as this Panthers logo, but the purple... So I think the uniform being purple and black also kind of helps. The gold surrounding it also really works. I mean, the B and the brain of the Baltimore Raven... This is a good logo. It's fairly detailed. It pops, but it's not too detailed. It's not doing too much. It's classic. I think it's a great logo. It's not quite the Panthers logo, but it's close. Now, this bird, I am not really the biggest fan of. This is their alternate. Oh, and I lied. This is not their logo from day one, but I'll get to that. Yeah, the bird... So they put it on that purple helmet with the gold stripes or whatever, and it just... I don't know if that's what's doing it a disservice, but the bird looking straight on just doesn't work. I do think it's bad. It's not terrible, but I think the Broncos logo would be better. This little Jets emblem is better. It just is like, it's doing a bit too much, and a bird straight on, it looks a little weird, and just the context of it doesn't work. I think it's bad, which is sad. I feel like it could work, but it just doesn't. I think it's fitting being above this other bird logo. It's a little bit better. This emblem, however, this was their first logo. It's actually pretty good. I mean, it's not great. It's definitely not great, but I will give it good for sure. I do think... I think this is actually a perfect spot. I think it's better than these Giants logos. Like, definitely more interesting. I wouldn't call it average because it's doing stuff, but I think these things do stuff a little bit more sleekly, and I think they're more good than this Ravens logo. It's doing a bit too much. The wings make it a little weirdly shaped in a way where it might look weird to wear, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna put it there. This one, however, this little alternate throwback is also probably great. I don't know if it is maybe doing a bit much, but I really like the Maryland flag being incorporated into it with Baltimore Ravens also in the emblem. And I mean, it's a good emblem. Out of all the emblems, I think this is probably my favorite so far, even more so than the Raiders logo. I would rather wear this on like a hat or a shirt, maybe a purple hat or something, than the Raiders logo. I think it does more efficiently and it's fun. So I'm going to go with great. Not quite as good as the actual logo, but I like it. The Saints. Saints are weird. Fairly boring, honestly. I am not the biggest fan of this color either, if I'm being entirely honest. I do think this is kind of average. I would put it ahead of the old Falcons logo. I really wouldn't. I'll put it ahead of the Cardinals logo. I think this Falcons logo is a little bit cooler. Kind of does more. This Saints logo, the color is slightly boring. It is... I don't know. The emblem, I forget what the thing is called, but it's French. So, I mean, it's kind of a cool idea. I just don't necessarily think it's that great. I think they somehow made it look too try-hardy when I think it's a simple emblem. Like the Nordiques, the old hockey team, did it in a much better way, much simpler, different color as well, and I think it just is cleaner. This is tacky. I don't like the state bullshit thing. I think it's honestly kind of terrible. You know what? Yeah, it's terrible. And I think it's actually pretty fitting right here, kind of by this other corny, tacky AFC South font bullshit thing. Except this is slightly worse because it's in the state for some reason. I think putting something in a state's borders just makes it a little bit worse. Just because it's a unnatural, weird-looking shape and it's just not gonna fit right. It's like, I understand the concept, but it feels like a lazy logo. You could have actually designed something new. Now this version of the Saints logo, this is their first one. I think it's better. It's a little bit simpler. The shape is a little bit more, I don't know, it just feels more correct to me, even though it definitely looks older. And the black, I think, is also slicker than the gold being the main color. I actually like this one. I'm going to go with this being good. And I do think it's not as good as the Chargers logo, but I would put it... Okay, I think I'm going to move some things around again. I think I keep underrating the Bengals logo. It's not as good as the Chargers logo, but it's better than this weird Colt thing. So I'm going to move these around a bit. Yeah, I think the Colt thing is better than this Raven, though. But yeah, I think this is slightly worse than the Bengals logo. But, the Falcons is kind of this, but cooler. It's got the A pop, so I'm going to give this Saints logo this spot here. I think it's good. I think they should use it. Go back to it. I think it's cooler. Here we go. This thing is weird as fuck. This is one of their throwback alternates. It's a weird saint dude holding the saint shield. I think it's bad. It's just doing too much. It's better than the dog, I think. I think this is a good spot. I think this Commanders thing I would rather be wearing than this saint fucking dude weird thing. I think that's fitting and bad. I don't like the way he looks too. I mean, I'm glad he's at least a cartoon and not like too realistic looking, but weird ass looking dude. Okay, we got the Seahawks. So they obviously just won the Super Bowl. Maybe bumps them up in aura points. But not really for me. I'm not the biggest fan of this logo. I kind of just think it's average. Honestly, the Saints logo is better. I'm not the biggest fan of gray. I don't think it does anything. I think it's just kind of there to fill void half of the time. I think silver is cleaner if you're going to use something in that vein. It almost always works better. And there's also a previous version that has green that just is better. And there's also one of the different blue here. I do think it's better than the Cardinals logo here. Slightly better than the Bucks as well. I think that's actually a pretty fair spot for it. It's pretty average. I'm not like offended by it. I don't think it's bad, but it kind of is just nothing. It reminds me of their terrible fucking uniforms. This, however, is so weird. I don't like being looked at by the fucking bird. Like, I think it's fitting to go here. It's worse than that. It's worse than this, honestly. And I'm even willing to say that it's kind of worse than... yeah, this emblem is a little bit better. I think it's better than the Saint guy we just ranked. But I don't like the way it looks at you. For some reason, it just reminds me of Josh Allen, Is It In You? The way he's looking at you, and I'm not trying to get dicked down by a fucking seagull, so I'm gonna have to go with bad. It just doesn't look natural, a bird looking right at you like that. It's just weird. I don't like it. I think it's gotta be bad. I don't think it's inherently terrible, though. It's pretty much this logo, just a little worse. No, this is their first logo. It kind of looks like a little kid drew it, but even then, just the way the colors are done, I think it's better. I think I have to go with it still being average. just because it's not fully like graphically designed as well, I think, but I am willing to put it above the Saint. No, I'm not. I think it literally is pretty much just this logo, but slightly better. So I think that's a good place for it in average. I'll give the narrow edge to that Seahawks logo. Now this fucking thing, I was like baffled to see. I had no clue the Seahawks had some alternate throwback logo. That was just like a fucking art piece of a fucking Seahawk. But they do. It doesn't look like a logo to me. It looks more like like it should be on the cover of a book or something. And it's kind of doing the thing that these old logos do, where they're just doing too much and they're way too much going on. But I do think it's a little sleeker just because it's more of a graphic design. But it's bad, and I'm not really willing. I do think it's better than the Seahawk looking at you. That is fucking awkward. But narrowly, and I think it's honestly fair to put the Seahawk next to that one too. Because in terms of color and stuff, they're limited to being next to each other, I think. And I think it's bad, but I think it's narrowly better. No, but it's better than this tacky little Commanders thing, and it's better than this tacky Eagles, like E. And better than this. Honestly, you know what? I'm underrating it a bit. It's probably about here with these other birds. But these are definitely better. If you're gonna be a bird or like realistic looking bird, these are a better option than this weird. I never really did that. It's so strange to me. I'd never seen it before, but yeah, whatever. That was the thing apparently. I think it's bad though. Steelers, I think this is one of those iconic ones. You've got to throw it in perfect. The way that the yellow, red, and blue go together, it just works. I know I was just shitting on gray, but the gray outline is actually kind of nice for them. It just works. They're the fucking Steelers. I do think the Chiefs is actually a little better, to be honest. You know what? Jaguars even better. But the way that the red, yellow, and blue go together, pretty elite. Good use of color there. This just the perfect emblem too. I also think it's pretty cool they put it on one side of the helmet only. I don't know why, that just like adds to the aura of the thing, but I think it's also just one of those winning franchises that bumps it a little bit, kind of makes it perfect. So I'm willing to put it there. It's classic, classy too. Now these other Steelers logos are fucking weird. What the fuck is this thing? Who knows? Pretty much down here with these other shitty ball ones. I think it's kind of in between of them. No, it's actually better than the Buffalo one as well. It's not doing quite as much, but there's some weird shit. I can't even really see what's going on, and that's how you know it's just too much is going on in it. It's not popping. It's just you have to really actually look at it and pay attention to it, and a logo should pop at you and, you know, be the attention without making you have to pay attention, if that makes sense. It's actually pretty fitting with these. It's ass. That's a terrible logo. I don't know what the fuck that was. This looks like a fucking soccer logo. And I'm not really the biggest fan of certain soccer logos, but I think it's about average. This is also apparently from when they were I believe a different team name. It's classier than that though. Yeah, I'll go there. I think it's kind of a little bit better than the Niners shooting stuff, but not quite as cool as the Patriot. Yeah, that's a soccer logo. I don't know what the fuck they're doing there, but it's not bad. It's just a soccer logo. It's average. It even looks like little soccer balls here from I'm far away, so it's hard to tell. This one is weird. I think it's bad. It's doing too much, but not quite as bad as like this cowboy one, or even this Raider pirate. I think it's a little goofy, which adds to it, like the dude walking on a steel beam. They're actually adding the steel into it, but I think it's just bad. But again, these are like weird little like Easter egg logos at this point. I mean, I think it was like a throwback alternate. Maybe it probably was their actual logo at some point, but when they hit this, they struck gold. So no point in moving on from. I mean, yeah, great choice moving on from this thing. It is not good by any means. Texans logo is actually, I think, at least great. I enjoy this logo quite a bit. I think I think it's better than this Buccaneers. It's better than the Niners logo even. Better than Browns. I'm not willing to put it above this old Jaguars or these Dolphins, but it's pretty sleek. I mean, the way that the Texan, or I guess like it makes like a bowl, and the lone star for Texas, it's actually pretty cool. And I think they didn't do too much with the shape. It's like a good graphical shape of the bowl. I think they actually hit with this thing. I mean, great modern logo. Did a very good job, especially considering they think they designed this thing in the 2000s. I feel like a lot of the logos fell off at around that time. So for them being new then, embracing what was new, they still did a good job. I like the Texans logo. Great. This, however, I have never liked it. This color scheme does not fucking work, and I am willing to put this in terrible. Also, this H is just doing too much. Honestly, this is worse than the Jets logo. It's not worse than that stupid fucking Ram, though. But yeah, I mean, it's just doing a little too much, and those colors suck. They don't fucking work. And these whole uniforms, I never liked them. It's the Houston alternate. I think they just recently made this. And I'm not a fan of it. It doesn't do it for me. Yeah, it's not it. This was their original logo. Literally the only difference I think is like a shade. I think it's a little better. The shade is being darker is a little bit better than the shade being brighter, I think. That's literally it. It's the only fucking difference. Pretty much the identical thing. So yeah, they're both great for me. This one, Houston Texan with a weird little, it's a cute little graphic. I don't mind it. I think it's actually pretty good. I think it's better than, it's not better than the Saints logo, but I think it's better than this bucking horse and this little raven emblem there. So I don't know. I like the way that these colors work together. I think it's just helping the Texans out a lot, honestly. But yeah, the little HT with the little Texas in there, kind of cute. Good little emblem for what it is. They didn't have much to pick from because they're the newest team. Let's go on to the Titans. Okay, so here's where this is a little bit strange. I wasn't... so some of you may have seen this new logo. This is what inspired my video, actually, was this new Titans logo coming out. And I quite like it. I didn't know whether to put it as the current logo or as the alternate, because I'm not sure if they're sticking with this Titan one and just making this a new alternate logo, or if this is just like entirely their new identity now. So that's why I added it, because I wanted to put it in here and talk about it, but this is still my main Titans logo. So this, however, I don't really like that much. I think it's average. Honestly, I'm willing to even put this in bad. I do think the Broncos logo is probably better. I do think it's a little bit better than this Raven staring you dead in the fucking asshole. So I will put the Titan there. It's just doing too much, trying to be cool with all the fire and everything, and I'm not really the biggest fan of it. Also, the colors, having two blues is not really that great, and then the red, it really just doesn't work for me. It's kind of like this, but a little sleeker. By this, I mean the Texans alternate Houston logo. So I think it's just a little, it's not that great. The Broncos slightly better than it, though. This new one, however, that just came out, it's maybe some of the first time you've ever seen it, possibly. I actually really like this. It takes back the Houston Oilers colors, which just clear the fuck out of pretty much any other color scheme has ever happened. And it still isn't great, but the colors alone are awesome. You know, honestly, I quite like it. I'm pretty... the T is a little strange. The T is a little strange. It is the same T, but it doesn't have like the sword texture. I want to put it in great, but maybe it'll hit me more. I think it's good, and I do actually think the Raiders are probably better. And these Raiders, not this one. I think it's pretty well fitting there. This is a good logo. I'm glad they changed it. It needed to be changed, but yeah. Good color scheme is kind of carrying it. Otherwise, it's a little bit boring, so that's maybe why it can't be great. But amazing color scheme. So we get down to this. Obviously, the Titans used to be the Houston Oilers. So this is the Houston Oilers' first logo, and I'm be real, shit is trash. Like some of the other ones that are old have like a little bit of a charm. This is just like a dude standing in front of the city of Houston. And I do think it's worse than this Panthers logo. It's not quite as bad as this horrendous fucking yellow and brown here, but yeah, I am going to put it in trash. It's just a bad logo. But then they fucking redeemed themselves by making this absolute fucking masterpiece. I think these are probably the coolest uniforms of all time, these Houston Oilers ones. This logo is a huge part of it. The way it fits on that white helmet. This logo is so fucking good. It is easily perfect. And I will put it there. It might even be ahead of the Packers, honestly. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The G is just more iconic. It's actually stood the test of time, and I'm fucking biased, and I wear this shit all the time. But the Oilers, oh my god, that fucking thing hits so hard. That is the coolest logo maybe ever. Debatable with the Packers for me, and also the Bills are pretty much up there. These three, I think, are the top three. The Oilers need to be brought back. The Titans were a fucking mistake. At least they're trying to revert back to it a little bit. Not successfully, though. This is way tackier than the fucking oil rig. That is fucking awesome. A literal, like, oil rig tower thing as your logo with these sick-ass fucking colors. Back then, like, this was just elite. I don't think we'll ever see anything like this again. It's perfect. The Vikings logo, I like. It's good. It's doing a bit too much to where I'm not willing to put it even over this, but I will put it over these Giants and Jets logos and stuff here. Because I do think it's good. I don't quite think it's average. It's good. Purple is not being used enough. There's a little too much detail going on too, but the Viking horn and a cool looking Viking works to make this a good logo. We're on to the last team, by the way. This Minnesota Vikings alternate, kind of a whole lot of nothing. It's pretty much just this LA thing, but a little better because it's purple. Purple's a little cooler. Also, the Viking horns on it, actually. I'm willing to put it there. I don't think it's as good as the Falcons' main logo, though, but no Minnesota Viking. It's not bad. It's about average. This I wish was just their actual logo. I don't know if they've ever actually had this officially as their logo, the little horn, but this thing is cooler than their actual logo, in my opinion, and I think I'm willing to put it ahead of not quite the Patriots. So it's still good. They're fairly similar. And this is obviously what's on the helmet there. And I think they've used it as an alternate in the past. I might be wrong. But I think I'm willing to put that thing in good. And I do think it's better than their current logo. It's just the horn. It's cooler, sleeker. It's not trying as hard, you know what I mean? But it still kind of gets the point across. Then we got this final thing. This little, this was their first logo. Pretty much the same thing, but a little worsely drawn. And it's also facing the wrong way, which ducks it some points for sure. I think it's not quite as cool as this Patriots logo, but it's better than this soccer emblem from the Steelers. And I think that's where the last one's gonna go, average. So a little bit of an anticlimactic way to end it there, but here's the list. Take it all in. I got perfect, So the only teams that reached perfect were the Packers once, the Oilers/Titans, but really the Oilers once, the Bills twice, the Cowboys twice, the Chiefs twice, the Jaguars once, and the Steelers once. And I think these are all, in my opinion, perfect logos. If I had anything with this on it, I would wear it and think it's cool. All these, like, really cool. I would wear it, like, for good fashion, nothing to do with the team. These great ones are also pretty similar. I wouldn't wear them as often as these ones, but they're wearable. They're great. They're pretty cool. These good ones are like, okay, yeah, I could wear this on something, but they're not great. They're just kind of, but they're doing their job well. These average ones is where it's like, okay, I wouldn't like demand to take this off if I was wearing one of these things, but not gonna go out of my way for it. These bad ones, yeah, I gotta take it off. It just doesn't look that good. These terrible logos I would not even consider putting it on. Like, I'm not even putting it on to take it off. Like these bad ones, like trying it on, there's no way. And then trash, yeah. So I'm looking at these and fucking throwing it in the trash. I'm offended that they even fucking exist, to be honest, especially this atrocious fucking Rams logo. And yeah, that's the list. I guess I'll put like a picture of it on screen there, of the whole thing, so you can see it. But yeah, that's it. If you guys would like to, I'm gonna leave the link in the description for this tier list here, and you guys can like let me know. Maybe I would love to see what you guys rank them. You don't have to do them all if you don't want to, but if you want to endure the process like I did, fucking 2 hours doing this, then go ahead. I would love to see it. I think it would be pretty cool. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you agree with these takes. Send me your tier lists if you make them. And yeah, thank you for watching. I appreciate it.